if I should be Orthodox Jewish or observer of Sabbath, and I am an observer of Sabbath, but in my way and how I see God, what He's talking about about Sabbath, and it's a Saturday evening in August 2022, and I am here in Sweden. And Sabbath for the Jewish people is from Friday when the sun goes down and until to the Saturday evening. So it's about 24 hours about that, briefly. And it's but for Christian people, Sabbath is the Sunday, and it's because they say it was Sunday when Jesus raised from the death. That's why they see the Sabbath on that is Sunday, and that's why there is church service on Sundays. And so it's depend on how you see it, the religion or tradition you follow, how you see it. And but for Jewish people, and the commandment God have given them is from Friday evening till Saturday evening, or when the sun goes down on Friday, and when and the whole time there, 25 hours until Saturday when the sun goes down, then it's the Sabbath is broken, so they can go out and have a party after. And this sounds easy to do it. When it's Saturday, you can do whatever you want to do. And but what do they do in Sabbath? The Jewish, Orthodox Jewish, and other Jewish that is not Orthodox, but they follow the observer of Sabbath, and they eat. They eat. It's a feast, and they're drinking because it's kosher, so they're drinking kosher wine. And what is kosher? I'm sorry. What is kosher wine? It's an ordinary wine that have been blessed of a rabbi or some holy people. It's the same wine as with. I don't drink any alcohol, but what people drink when it's come to wine, it's the same thing. It's only that it's blessed, and it's to be Orthodox Jewish is very hard because you can't go to the toilet in 25 hours. You can't wash yourself. It's not allowed to clean up your body. So I suppose there is some people that stink if it's warm weather and they can't go into the bathroom and clean up themselves, or go to the bathroom and do their things. So it's very stressful, must it be, to be like that. And this is not what God wants us to be. God is the opposite of be stressful. He wants peace and relaxing for his people, and we should take Sabbath. But God is not limited. He is not limit us in that way. We should respect him. But Sabbath can be any day. It's that you take time for God that day and not do heavy work in that day. For me, I observe Sabbath, and I observe it in that way that I can go out in the garden and do light work, because it's spirit filled to be in the garden and cut a flower or take away weed and clean up the garden. And that's not work for me. It's something that relaxes me. So I hear someone say this now, that but I like to hand wash. I like to hand dish. Then I can do that on Sabbath. And in those religions, I am not in a religion, so of course you can do things that is not something bad, because now someone is thinking like then I can have sex the whole day, but that is not to honor God. It's what you do that make you think about God, and that you want to be with God in that day. And as much as you can, you should not have electricity, because it's disturbing the spirit. And I use I have always a radio on my telephone, music in my telephone. I play music in the night because I don't want the spirits to come and disturb me. And in the beginning, when I started this to play music in the night, it was for the evil spirits that I had in the other home I live in. In this home have it not been. It's only my son's father that have shown up, but I took him away, and so it have not been any evil here. But in the other apartment where I lived, it was evil spirits that come break through, because my ancestors, not all of them were good people. Some of them were murderer, killer, and one that is ancestor to me, he killed all the priest, all the church leaders around where he was, he killed them and let them be killed up in the center of the city, in the square, and let people see it. So he was not a good person, and the spirit of him is not a good spirit when he want to come here and talk. And we have had some spirits that have repent, and that is not the same thing. This is spirits that doesn't repent, and so I disturb them to have music on in the night, and then I have lights on also, a little light. I don't sleep in the darkness, and so this is about electricity. You should be a little aware of this electricity, so not have complete ongoing in your home with music, television, games to play, and these things on Sabbath. Sabbath should be a day for observe and talk to God and pray to God and try to come close to God and hear His voice. That's what we should do on Sabbath. But then what day it is, it's not important if you are not Orthodox. But if you are believing God and do Sabbath, then you can do it any day. You can do it on Monday if you don't work. If you set apart that day for to talk to God and be with God, and you can wash dishes. When you wash dishes, you get the spirit connection in that way. There is many ways to get spirit connection. For me, to have a spirit connection is very much to drive out in the forest, be by myself with the tree and the birds. That's spirit things for me, and I feel the connection with God in that. And I mostly drive out in the forest on Saturday and Sundays. And so the question is, do they have Sabbath in Islam? Because we see them like be busy the whole time and never can relax. I have prayer together with a Muslim woman once, so there is it's different also with the Muslim people. Some is very kindly people, and try to find God like everyone else that want to have that connection. And so they for the Sabbath for Muslim people is on Friday. Friday is a special day for Muslims. It's not a Saturday, it's only Friday, and it's I forget what it was about, but what Muhammad told people that Friday should be a Sabbath day, and so they have that, but in not so strict. It's about praying that day, and not all these rules that is. Me as a member of the LDS church, the Mormon church, is they have rules also, and I don't agree to it. So I am not. I can't go into the temple. I have been in it to the temple sometimes, but it's okay because I have been there, and that's enough for me, and to have seen it. And I am not going to go to next level because they don't want me to go to the next level. And there is no people coming here and visit me from the church, so I don't get any education either to be in the temple. So and it was, I was very hurt in the beginning, but now because all these spirits that are coming through is that they have educated me, and I am on not in the same level in knowledge about God and heaven like I was when I started in that church, and so it doesn't matter for me because I have like passed by that. I was in Utah in Salt Lake City Temple, and that is like a target for me. I have done that, but people here, they say that you should be in the temple where you belong to, and that is Copenhagen. But for me was it Salt Lake City, that temple. I wanted to go into that temple, and I was also in Bounty Field in Utah also, and it was very beautiful place. The Bounty Field, very beautiful. And so I have done that. So I am not going for to be in the temple anymore, because I don't want those underpants. I am not interested of coffee. I have never liked coffee, but I can understand that it was when Joseph Smith lived that coffee was so much stronger. It was like a drugs, and so people be different in their mind set. But today we don't have that. We don't have that strong coffee, and then we have decaffeinated coffee. We don't need to drink caffeine, and it's the same with tea. That there is tea to drink that have no caffeine, and they drink chocolate, hot chocolate, but chocolate have very much also these drugs in it, so that's not good either. And then they have gone angry at me because I drinking a Coke. So, I'm not so very much into Coke, but sometimes I want to drink it, a cold Coke with lemon, slice of fresh lemon in it. I like that sometimes. I'm not addicted to anything. It's only like sometimes I want that. And it's not the same as it was before. In Coke it was cocaine in it, and it's not anymore. So it's not good to drink it every day, Coke, because there's very much chemical in it that is not good for the body. But sometimes is it okay to drink it for me, and I don't feel bad to do it. And I don't want the underpants. It's enough to have these ordinary underpants we have to buy. Sometimes it's what do I say? It's I feel it the whole time. Like I don't like it, and thinking if I could go naked, should be better. But it's only thinking. I don't do it. And it's a Sabbath and fasting the same thing. It's not the same thing. Fasting is to stay away from things that you love to do. It can be very similar to Sabbath if you do it orthodox, that there is rules to follow, and fasting is also. But the Bible fasting is not the same fasting as it is what the media is saying, the magazine is saying. It's not only about food fasting. Fasting is to stay away from things that is not good for you, to stop to use things that you know that God doesn't like that you're doing. That at least if you do things that you know God doesn't like, and you do things that is a sin, is it better to do a fasting and then do your things? But if you can do a fasting, it is one step God love. That's in God's will, that you take a time off from those things that is, is that something God doesn't like. And it's not about the body, it's about the whole you, about around you and everything. So that is, Sabbath can go into the fasting, but it's not the same, because it's to stay away for a longer time. That fasting is, it's a more that you decide you for to, that I have fasting 40 days, once. I did that, and I lost 20 pounds on it. So that, and it took a very long time until I come back to the same weight again. It maybe take 2-3 years. So that was good for the body. But in the same time that I do this food fasting, I also go down and slow down in my life, that things that I did that took away my focus on God. So in that food fasting, I also did things in the daytime, my daily life, also to not sit on my computer so much. I didn't do that in those 40 days. I walk out much more, walking around outside, and I also sit and study and try to. In that time, I was not so close to God, but I try to have a connection with God in those 40 days, every day. So that's about to change your mindset thing also. It's not only about lower your weight or be more healthy. It's to break your now I forget the word, habit. What you have in habit, it's to break them, that you know it's not good for you. So if you smoke cigarettes, it's not to take away everything, but you can at least cut it to be half of it that you smoke every day. So if you smoke a package per day, you stop it and only take a half package of cigarettes in those fasting days. It's these things. So it's Sabbath is 25 hours, but the fasting should be a longer time, because you have to break your habit, and you don't break your habit in 25 hours. It is sad that I lost listener on this podcast. It's very low now. I have lost those people in Ireland that always come and listen, and I have in England and Germany people that listen, and they have not done that for some days. And I think it can be that it's not people's fault. I maybe have been in some way hacked. Someone have done something wrong to me with my podcast, so I don't reach out to people that I could do if they don't have stopped me in some way. And the devil, of course, he or she is around and say you should not listen at that podcast because it's a witch that sit there talking or something, saying bad about me. So, and you listen to them, and you know and you should be awake about it, that it's the devil that sent these people to you to tell you to not listen to this, what I'm saying. But it's about the whole time, is it God's will and what heaven want also. It's not about me. If there is no one that want to listen at my podcast, I still pay for the podcast because I don't know the future. It maybe will come people and want to listen at my podcast in the future, so it should be there for them. And so I going to have this podcast staying on the internet, but maybe not recording anything, because it's sad that no one listens. So it's only be depression things to do, so I stay away from it. But if the spirits are telling me they want me to do a episode, then I do it, because it's not my podcast. I am the last one in this. The podcast is for you to have a connection with heaven and have a connection with God and all this that is matter, those spirits that matter more than people here on earth, because I see how much they only are with you when you can give them something, and if you don't can give them what they want, they either they stab you in your back, or they walk away from you, and you have wasted your time and your energy and maybe money also on them. And I don't do that. I am not going to sit here and recording something for people that doesn't want to listen. I know because I can see on the statistic that the people waiting for me to talk about them in the spirit way, but I can't do this. They don't understand that I can't tell the spirit to come and talk to you about what you want to talk. Some people waiting for me to say what man you should have in your life, how long it will take for you to find your loved one and be married, to have children, and these things. That is for you and not God's will. I don't do that. I could do this about people's life. I can maybe try to get the spirits to come and talk about you, but I can't. I don't want to do that, because it's the spirits podcast and it's God's podcast, and if they want to come and talk, they come and talk. And if they want to talk about a subject, then they talk. It's okay for them to talk about that subject. It's not my will, and it's not your will. I am not doing this for to be like famous person, to be in magazines and on television and these things. I do it for you, and I do it for God in heaven to talk to you. I don't do it for myself. I can admit it that when I'm depressed, I do a recording, because most of the time the spirit is coming through and talk to me, and I be happy, and I feel me not so lonely and depressed anymore when they have talking. So this I do in my own wants, because I need them when I am depressed and feel lonely, because I don't have anyone here on earth that think about me and want to come and hear how it is with me or something like that. I can sit here and die, and there is no one that search for me and wondering why have I not heard from you today, like that. There is no one. So it be depressed. I be depressed sometimes, and then I start the recording in this podcast, and the spirit is coming, and I be happy, and then I feel like I am not lonely anymore, because I have my family in heaven, and they are with me. So I am not on my own. It can look like that. And I have told them, now I'm talking, because if two people agree to something, then Jesus say he should be with these two people. So I tell you that I need a person to come into my life that people can see. People can see that I have someone in my life, and then they are not going to be evil, not so much evil to me, and they don't try to hurt me or kill me, because they can see there is a person in my life. And I have my heavenly family and God with me, but that can't people see. People that doesn't have the spirit, that don't have a living spirit inside them, they only see that I don't have anyone that protect me, that anyone that can see that they are evil to me. So I need someone to come into my life that is kindly, that is this perfect person, that care about me, that can step forward and standing before me and tell people, step back, you don't touch her, like that. I need that very much now. And I think I am not going to have a person coming to me to help me, because my whole walk since year 2000 have been in loneliness. In 22 years I have done a lonely walking, So I think I'm going to Israel on my own and struggle because I am not good in to walk anymore. But I go there of faith. So I go there and I end there. That's where I should end my walking. And after that, it needs to be a changing because I'm start to be so old. So I must have people that care for me now. I can't walk on my own as I have done in 22 years. I was younger in that time. Everyone is going older. So that's my problem, that I don't have any person that people can see. I have visible friends and visible family, invisible families, and invisible friends in heaven, but I don't have anyone here on earth. It's they were talking about me in a Jewish group about that. I asked them if they could advise me how I can get help in Jerusalem to walk around in Jerusalem, because I can't have my electric scooter with me because of the sidewalk is so bad. And I ask, and they say they should do some charity they talking about. But one after one was saying that they were disabled by themselves. They didn't have time and they didn't have money. And now it's no one that want to do to help me in Israel. So I know it's not going to be anyone helping me, and that is how it's ended. It's started with me be by myself and not get help at all, and it will end it the same way as it started. And I hope my struggle is over after Israel. I hope that I'm going to change my life after Israel. I know I'm going to have a new home. If I'm coming back to Sweden, I'm going to ask for another place to live at. That's I can be with people around me and like nurses be there for me if something happen. If I fall here in my home, is no one that know it. If I can't help myself, but I need to live in a place where there is nurses around that can help me up from the floor and know that I am alive every day. That's what's gonna be changed when I come back from Israel. If I not get something that changed my life in Israel, I hope I get something in Israel that changed my life. So thank you for listening, and God bless you, and I hope I have given you a blessing in maybe not so much in this episode, but in other episodes that I have recording. The meaning is that you should be healed healed not only in the body but everything, and heal around you also. So thank you.